Hello. Hi. Today is day 44 of the 75 Day Spirit Baby Devotional, and I am Jezreel, the Spirit Baby Auntie. And hey, funny enough, I pulled some oracle cards earlier today before my son and I took a nap. And all of the cards that I pulled had fours or came to a sum of fours. So I'm gonna show you those. Is the book in here? It sure is. So this is the goddess, the African goddess rising oracle. And we have Tatuba for feeling safe, number 4. I set for surrender, 44, 444. And then I have a Tet for worthiness. And then I have Mami Wata, naked. Now Mami Wata is 30, but when you add 14 and 30 together, what do you get? Exactly. And I didn't even realize until this moment when I did the intro that today was day 44. And let's see what my pregnancy tarot book is. Hold on. Okay. So 444, like in here, so they talk about each number, they go through the months. And the 4s, which are month 4 from week 14 to 17. And it says, emerging from the first trimester, feeling better, more balanced, a period of respite after the discomfort of the previous month. Look up, look around, and feel gratitude for the gift of feeling good again. Expansion and consistency. Yeah, that's all I wanted to read, to see where it went with that. And just feeling into the energy of the number 4. 44 being I set. Surrender is making me think of relaxing. I had a reading done earlier, and the Emperor card came out, which is number 4, about just being able to relax in order to lead is a big component of it. And I went to a herbal workshop today, like herbs for women, and we're talking about the heart. And a lot of the herbs that were mentioned today were obviously womb centered, but they were also centered towards the nervous system. And something that has been coming up a lot for me the last few, honestly, years, but I'll say weeks, is that some of the anxiety, some of the fear, the undercurrent of energy that is in me flows in my veins, through my bones, and in my spirit are not just mine. It's lineage, generations on generations and generations of pain, of feeling that I, born into safety, have the ability, the privilege to feel. And there's a very big energy around feeling it all. Because I have great aunts who communicate to me in the spirit realm. And a lot of, it's not just my great aunts, it's my grandmas. It's a lot of things that they didn't get to fill out. There are energies of how they would have carried things out, how they would respond, and just feelings that got clogged into their heart have just been coming up. And it's a big deal to take the time to feel, to choose to feel even deeper. Like daring to feel deeper, daring to surrender to the undercurrent of feeling, stripping oneself naked to the point of just being truly self. And sometimes being truly self is feeling. I definitely want to read Mami Walters. It says, hide no more. The emotional nakedness you avoid is your superpower, not your shame. Being emotionally naked means being vulnerable enough for the real you to shine through. Vulnerability is a strength, not a weakness. Practice being transparent. Start with people closest to you and say, I haven't been showing the whole me, but I'm starting today. Having the courage to feel and express your feelings without people pleasing. Speak your truth. Share your story. Cultivate an appreciation for vulnerability in others. Become comfortable with feeling uncomfortable and making others uncomfortable. And the Goddess Declaration says, I have the courage to be vulnerable. Mami Wata and her sisters live in the Ikpoba River in Benin City, Nigeria. But the ancient mermaid goddess is her own global pantheon. Mami Wata influences emotions and gifts her followers with clairvoyance and healing powers. Temple of the Griots. Griots is storytellers. And then I have everything else that says worthiness, surrender, and feeling safe. And that is, something came up today. The woman who was leading the class, Queen Yin, over at OU Botanical, she was telling us about her mom and just her relationship with her mom and her mom's transition. And in that conversation, we as women were all talking about the heart and how sometimes the heart carries more than we all share. And the biggest aspect of healing, especially out loud as Black women, is speaking our truth, telling the fullness of ourselves, expressing ourselves, even when it's misunderstood. My softness, my sensitivity, my vulnerability may not look like the next person. It may not be palatable, but it just is mine. And sometimes grief can live in the heart. And alongside grief is guilt. We've talked about guilt a few times here. And within that guilt can have such a strong hold on someone's heart, on someone's being, on someone's soul, that they shun their own worthiness. That we as people, that I have personally have felt like I am unworthy. Unworthy of surrender, unworthy of rest, unworthy of healing, unworthy of slowness, unworthy of gentle compassion, unworthy of care. And it's not true. Nothing about it is true. When I became a parent, I stopped working when I was probably, I think I was about 30 weeks. I was 30 weeks pregnant. I didn't give birth to my son until mid-October. And at the end of July, I was done working. Come August, I had my baby shower. And then the rest of the months, I was at home. And after giving birth via C-section, there was this undercurrent of just energy coming from all different facets of people who didn't have the ability to stay at home, people who have never seen that as a possibility for themselves, people who are uncomfortable in being at home would project onto me that I need to be working, or that my healing should look like this, or that it's no excuse for this, or I'm a this and this and this and this and this, or just projecting their own desires for peace, their own desires for rest, their own desires for being a stay-at-home parent in a very fucked up way, excuse my French, but it's just been something that hurt me. I carried this feeling of guilt my whole postpartum experience, like, and I didn't even know the type of care and the extra care that my body needed, that my womb needed, that I needed after having surgery. I didn't have the tools to love on myself. And it's taken me almost 6 years to really feel okay after having my son. And I'm still everywhere. I mean, because I'm becoming someone new every day, you know. But it felt like I got opened up and I was just alone. And me and my husband talked about that because I didn't know all the options that I had, or just what my rights were as a person who's birthing, especially in an elective cesarean. And when the time came, my husband and my baby left me in the operating room, and they went to go do fingerprints and whatever else they did. I don't know, I wasn't there. And I was in the operating room alone. I had my phone, so I was able to post that my baby made it, text people. I'm texting people and I am laid up on the operating table, getting sewn back together. And it feels like in that process, just so many people's energy just jumped on inside of me and just decided that let's just take up space. So I don't understand what real healing is like, because I welcomed it, and I didn't have a sense of soul boundary, a sense of emotional boundary, because I was alone. And I didn't realize that I was carrying resentment for my husband in that way. And we talked about it. We've talked about it, especially because we want more children. And a lot of my grief comes from, in hindsight, of just seeing things differently. I didn't get really good childbirth education until years after having my son. Like I got the basic childbirth education at the hospital, and then with that one big doula company, it started with a D. But it wasn't until I joined the Sacred Birth Worker Mentorship with Sacred Birth Internationals. When I met Anna, she was going as Anna the Spiritual Midwife. And I just love that term, spiritual midwife. And I've learned more about midwifery and so much since meeting her and taking the course. But it was such I'm trying to think of the word. I don't know the word. Oh man, I wish I did. I feel like it starts with a C. I don't know. But I do know that the depth of understanding that I have in the female body, in the childbirth process, is so different. It's so different. Dang, what is it? Complimentary. It's not complimentary. Congruent is not congruent. What is the word? I know I'm gonna remember it later. But it was just, wow. The word is gone. I just don't have it. But she's a midwife, like a trained midwife, like went to school, everything for it, understands being a traditional midwife in her culture, and there was more on there than I've ever heard anybody in my whole life ever know or talk about. Even now, when I say terms that I find to be normal, just basic birthing terminology or pregnancy terminology, I still get stares or just like, what? And I realized that it's not common. It's not common knowledge, especially not amongst Black and brown women, especially not amongst people who are more modern, I guess, with the trends, just really young, the young people. And I aspire to change that. I aspire for birth knowledge to be something that teenagers know because it's something the body does. And that just is world class. What is the word, y'all? I'm about to go look it up. I looked it up. The word is comprehensive. It was very comprehensive. It was very expansive. It was very deep. It was very, very, very deep. Like every minute detail there is to know about birth and about being a sacred birth worker, just being a doula, being someone who sits at the feet of a woman birthing. It's more knowledge than you think or would have ever thought that you'd receive. And yeah. I had to go find that word, comprehensive. And it just seems like such a simple word, but I couldn't think of it at all. And I would definitely say when my husband and I were expecting a baby, we were expecting to give birth in April around. We found out we were pregnant in August, and our pregnancy did end very shortly after that in September, right before my mother-in-law had her own health issues. It was actually, the timing was really uncanny. And then in that, me and Taj both got a lot of just spiritual, Taj is my husband, we got a lot of just spiritual, just confirmation, just a lot of different ones. And I reread the Spirit Baby book, and I just felt closer to my spirit baby, especially being able to be there for my mother-in-law, because that's a woman in my life. And as you will know and have heard, and I keep talking about, my spirit baby girl, yeah, it all felt connected, I suppose. And in that, I realized that I was more ready to give birth now, or just after having had taken the Sacred Birth Worker Mentorship Program, than I was when I had my son. And then I was even thinking about it, and I was like, I would genuinely go back through all of the content, all of the learning material, to freshen up my mind to be ready for birth. Again, because I don't know what it's like to have like real contractions in my body. I don't know what it's like. I feel like a first time mom when it comes to that. Like, it'll be my first time ever going into labor. It'll be my first time feeling my cervix dilate and open. It'll be my first time. And, you know, that's really, really big and really special. And then I also want to preface for myself and for you, the viewer, that when I do mention my spirit baby girl, I do acknowledge that it could just be the voice of the soul, like, you know, of my spirit children. And they come to me to communicate via girl. Hold on. My son came in. And I receive a lot of confirmation and messages through our interactions, my earth side baby. Because at the end of the day, he is deeply soulfully connected to the voice and spirit of my spirit baby. Like, he is my spirit baby. So that's when I get into, like, I'm aware that the spirit baby energy itself is it's very big. It's very, just, it's more than I can express, I suppose. And simply put, for my cognitive connection to my spirit children, they communicate to me via a girl, or just the energy of a girl. And that may just be my connection to my inner child. I may be having a daughter next when I do go forth to have more babies. And that may just be the more susceptible energy that I have and that this channel has for me to fully, limitlessly communicate with the spirit baby energy. And that just is. And that's just me personally. Especially because I've had so many dreams of me birthing a little girl. And I trust my dreams. I trust my dreams. And that just is my personal story with it. And yeah. But yeah. Yeah. Spirit baby communication is so special to me. And it's how I'm able to be with the obsessive, anxious energy that I had when I was pregnant with him, or when I felt his energy and his presence. And I believe when I was feeling his energy and his presence is what was fueling my desire to do things, like do. And that's a masculine presence, that's a masculine energy. And when I lean into the energy of this new baby that I'll someday mother, and that I'm currently mothering and guiding in the spiritual way, within the unknown that I accept and allow myself to know that I don't know everything about. I feel the energy of surrender. I think of the Empress. I think of Iset, of really surrendering to the unknown, surrendering to what is supposed to be, and honoring and trusting that I am worthy of taking everything one step at a time, and trusting that each step that I make is in the direction of what it is that I ask the divine for, what it is that I am calling into my life, what it is that I am manifesting. And that just is. And I feel safe in that. And that is the message, truly, is feeling safe in your ability to manifest, feeling safe in the flow of the journey that is on its way to your manifestation. Whether your manifestation is physical things external to you, growing a baby, a period, that, you know, like, it's a lot of different things. And just honoring yourself and showing yourself that you have trust in yourself, and you're not trying to make your body do anything, especially as someone who is a survivor of sexual abuse, like being taken advantage of for years. by someone I trusted, by someone who was supposed to protect me. My brain rewired around that event. That took place from 8 until I was 12 years old. So in that space and time, that's a lot of cognitive development that I, as an adult, have had the time to be with. And one of the things that in the various meditations I've done to connect with my womb, to be with my cervix, to be with my body, a lot of the conversation has been around me taking accountability for what I have made my body do. You know, like taking certain medicine, I made my body ovulate. I made my body open up. I had a C-section, and C-sections are life-changing. My C-section was perfect. It was beautiful. My baby's here. I left the next day after my surgery and went the fuck home. And in that, my body still was made to do something. My body was still put in this position to where there was no proof of trust, if that makes sense. And that just is. And so it's been a whole lot of journeying, of building trust with myself, with my body. And yeah, and I want to leave us with the Ho'oponopono prayer, because that is a deep aspect of it. And I remember starting this off talking about guilt, talking about just grief. And guilt to me is a form of grief. So the Ho'oponopono prayer is so simple and it's so easy for you to do. And for me to do, and we're gonna do it together, okay? So a heart opening breath is the 4-4-4 breathing. Oh my gosh, thank you, Source, thank you, aunties, thank you. Oh my gosh, Queen Yin brought that up today in the herbal workshop. 4-4-4, I love that so much. So we're gonna inhale for 4, hold for 4, and exhale for 4, okay? We're gonna do that 4 times. And this is the start of the prayer. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. And yeah, that's that. So yeah. I would like to thank you for being here with me today. Thank you for your ears. Thank you for your heart. Thank you for showing up on this beautiful day 44 as we tune in, tap in, and turn on to the frequency of love, of our spirit children, of my nieces and nephews that are waiting to come earthside at your pace. They're waiting for you to hurry up and wait. Hurry up and surrender. And taking your time and even doing that. I thought of hurry up and wait because that's just something my husband taught me when he was in basic training. And we let her write in and loving on each other. Oh my gosh. Oh yeah, and that's another message. Your baby wants to know more about you. Tell your baby your love story. I think I've said that before. Tell your baby your love story, please. They want to hear all about it. They do. Yeah. If you yourself are pregnant and are in the East Point, Atlanta, South Fulton area, I am the spirit baby auntie. You're ready to birth your spirit baby? Let's work together. I am ready to join your family and to love on you as a sister and mother you as a mother. Like, the mother needs to be mothered, and I am ready to do that with you. And if you would like to book a discovery call so we can find out if that's our jam, link in the bio. Link is in the bio to book your spirit baby auntie discovery call. And then also, I have a free ebook. It is called Held While You Bloom. It is a guide for pouring into yourself while you're pregnant, for reminding yourself what it is that you need, particularly to feel held. Go ahead and click the link. It's right there. Held While You Bloom. It's free. Grab it. It's for you. And lastly, if you want to join the tribe, Spirit Baby Connect Facebook group is also in the link in the bio. And I look forward to connecting. So yeah, so much love. I didn't stop it.